Okay, today I'm going to be continuing with the Level 1 workbook. We are going to be starting the Level 1B chapters today. So up until now we've been working our way through Level 1A. Today we're going to be doing Level 1B. So this is all the topics we've covered so far, including the particles, the topic particle, the subject particle, etc. In Level 1B, we're going to start using the past tense for the first time. So this is about how to conjugate Korean verbs into the past tense. It's what we're going to be practicing today. If we have time, we'll also do the future tense. We'll see how we go. Okay, so the past tense on page 60. Now, in previous live streams, we already practiced the present tense, and this does use a similar method, just with some slight changes for working with the past tense. And as always, this book does kind of depend on some knowledge from the textbook. In the textbook, we practiced the rules of the past tense. We can just briefly look at that quickly before we jump into it. At least just look at the overall rules. If I can find my spot here. Okay, so there's 3 rules for conjugating into the past tense. One is, if the last vowel sound of the verb is a or, you attach as어요. Now remember, in the present tense, it's ayo, right? But in the past tense, it's as어요. So we're adding a little sound. That's the first rule. The second rule is that if the verb stem ends with ha, then that ha becomes 했어요. So if your verb stem ends in ha, becomes 했어요. And the third rule is, in any other situation, so it's not a, or ha, in any other situation you attach 없어요. So those are the 3 rules you need to know to conjugate verbs into the past tense. And as before with present tense as well, there are some vowel combinations that occur. There's a couple different vowel combinations. One is if the verb stem ends in an a sound, like ka, then you just add 있어요. And then there's other ones like 마시다, for example, becomes 마셨어요. And 배우다 becomes 배웠어요. So there's these vowel combinations to remember as well. And we're going to practice this a little bit right now. So let's look at some practice problems with the as었어요 past tense. Thank you. So we have a couple examples here. We've given a verb. In this case, the verb is 먹다. And we have to add a noun. We have to recognize the noun from the picture and make a sentence. So the first sentence has been done as an example. 먹다 becomes 먹었어요. 먹다 ends with this o sound. So because of this, it becomes os어요. And we know that this thing here is a 사과. It's a 사과, it's an apple. And so 사과를 먹었어요. And also remember from our previous lessons, this 를 is what's called the object particle. All this does is specify that the apple is the object of the verb. 吃过 the apple sounds like Chinese. It might be related to the Chinese word. They might have a similar origin. Okay, so 사과를 먹었어요. What does this mean? It means I ate the apple. I ate the apple. 먹었어요 is eat in the past tense, so ate, and 사과 is the apple. In English, we have the verb in the middle, but in Korean, the verb always goes at the end. Okay, so let's look at the second example. be 마시다. 마시다, this verb means to drink. And in the past tense, it becomes 마셨어요. yo. We're putting this at the end because the verb comes at the end. And then what is this? This thing right here. Does anyone know what this thing is? This noun. If you were to write this picture in Korean, what would it be? Copy. Yes, not hanami. Thank you. This is copy or coffee. And because it's a action, drinking, right, we're going to use the object particle to show that coffee is the thing that you are drinking. 커피를 마셨어요. Be very careful of the difference between copy, which is this. This means coffee, but copy like this. So if you change the vowel sound from an R sound, copy, to copy, this is nosebleed. Noseblood. So be careful how you're pronouncing it. I know in English you usually say coffee. It has this R sound. But in Korean, copy is nosebleed and copy is coffee. May I know what book you are using? This is the book right here. This is a Korean class, actually. Korean language. And this is the book, the Level 1 workbook. It's in the TikTok shop. Indeed, it's also on our website. Okay, so we made another sentence. Now let's look at see. So see, this verb ita means to have. Oh, one final question before I move on. What does this sentence mean? This sentence means I drank coffee, right? Because we have drink in the past tense, so drank. I drank coffee. Okay. Now we have this next question, see. We have the verb ita, which means to have. Now in the past tense, this becomes 있었어요. 있었어요. This is the past tense of ita, 있었어요. And what is this thing? What is this? Oh. This noun, this picture here, what is this a picture of? If you were to write it in Korean, does anyone know? A chip, changkyu, yes. This is a chip, which is a home or a house, a chip. Okay, now, question, important question. Hi, I'm new here. Hello, welcome. Which particle do I use here to connect this chip, the house, with the verb ita, or 있었다, in this case, 있었어요? Which particle do I need to use? 집에, 집을, 집이, which one do you think? So it kind of depends on, you actually can do, but we haven't actually learnt this grammar form yet. But you can use or you can use e. You can use either one. They mean different things though. If you say 집에 있어요, 집에 있었어요, it means I was at home. Okay, so if you use the particle, if you use the e particle, 집이 있었어요, it means I had a house. So don't worry about that too much right now. We haven't actually learnt this particle yet. So hold on to that for now. You can just know you can use either 집이 or 집에. The important thing is that you're conjugating this properly. 있었어요, to had. Is it too late for studying Korean? I'm a beginner. It's never too late to learn Korean. It's never too late to learn a language, and go for it. It's never too late. All right, you can start today. In fact, I encourage you to start today. Okay, next we have D, 맛있다. 맛있다. Does anyone know what this verb means in Korean? I started learning yesterday. Welcome. I'm celebrating you. Congratulations. Delicious. Yes. delicious. 맛있다 means to be delicious or tasty or yummy or anything like that. 맛있다. And to make it into the past tense, 맛있었어요. 맛있었어요. That means it was delicious in the past. And this thing here is a pizza. It's a pizza, which is pizza in Korean. Pizza. Now, question again, which particle should I use here? Which particle is the correct particle to use after pizza to complete this sentence? That's right, amazing. Luna. The correct particle is 가. Pizza, 가. Why is it 가 and not 를? Because of the verb. It's because of the verb. So see up here we have 를, right? But pizza, 사과를 먹었어요. But notice the difference in the type of verb that you have. To eat is an action. To eat is an action, so you use the object particle. But this is not an action, right? The pizza being delicious is a description. It's a description of the pizza. So it's not an object, it's a subject. How can I memorize the particles? It's really mostly practice. We do practice the particles a lot more earlier in the book. So if you need practice with particles, if you start at the beginning in this book, you do get a lot of practice with it. You know, we have some pages back here about the different particles and which one to use. And then after that, it's just practice. May I ask what a particle is? I'm new. Yes, you can absolutely ask what a particle is. So a particle in Korean is a grammatical feature, sort of unique to Korean. Japanese has them as well, but we do not have them in English. So a particle is something that connects the noun to the verb. So an important thing to know about Korean, that's different from English, right? Because in English, we have a very set sentence structure. You have to order words a certain way. And if you change the order of words in a sentence, in English, that sentence will no longer make sense because the order of words in a sentence determines what that sentence means. But Korean is not like that. In Korean, you connect the meaning of the sentence by understanding the particles. And because of this, incidentally, Korean sentences can actually be written in any order. You can say sentences in any word order, and the sentence is still the same as long as the particles stay in the same places. So a particle really, all it does, to summarize, is it connects the noun to the verb. So if you say, I eat an apple, a particle connects apple to the verb eat to show that that thing is what you're eating. Particles also connect subjects. So if you're saying like, I am doing this, how you know that you're the one doing the action is because of the particle you use. And it also connects nouns to description. So if you want to say, my flower is pretty, the way you connect the verb pretty to flower also uses a particle. So I hope that kind of helps. It's something that we just don't have in English, so it's hard to get used to. But they exist in Korean to make sentences clear, to make the meaning of sentences clear, so that you can understand who's doing what or what's doing receiving actions. Yeah, it does take practice. There are lots of particles in Korean, but essentially that's what they do. They connect nouns to verbs. Okay, let's do this next one. 이, 좋다. Question, how do you know when to use formal speaking? So formal language versus casual language, it depends very much on context, and also it even depends on the preferences of the individual. So I can't really give you an answer. In general, just use formal language as a default, I would say. Unless someone, tells you can speak casually. There are some specific situations where I'll tell you that you can speak casually. That includes when you are talking to yourself If you're speaking to yourself out loud, you can speak casually. If you are talking to an animal, you can speak casually. If you're talking to a very young child, you can speak casually. In all other situations, I would recommend just speak formally. Consider that the default, I would say. Okay. 좋다 means to be good or nice or likable. So 좋다 in the present tense, or well, past tense, we're doing the past tense right now. 좋았어요. 좋았어요. 좋았어요 means it was nice or it was good. And this thing here, this noun, is a salad, which in Korean is just salad. It's written out kind of in English. Yeah, learning Korean first. Definitely, I see comments about that. If you're starting out learning Korean, the first place to start is absolutely with learning the alphabet. It is an alphabet. It's not like Chinese. There is letters, consonants and vowels. So start with learning that. And then you'll be set up very well to start learning grammar and vocabulary, other things like that. So, 샐러드. So same question. So which particle do we need to use here? Keep in mind, right, that the verb 좋다, to be nice or good, is a descriptive verb, right? It's a descriptive verb describing a subject. Yes, good job, everybody. So you need to use 가. 샐러드가 좋았어요. Right? When we have descriptive verbs, we use the subject particle. I already learned all this. Yes, it's good recap, right? It's good revision. Okay, let's look at F. What does the verb 만나다 mean? Does anyone know what 만나다 means in Korean? Can I ask if K-dramas are a good place to learn or not? I've heard mixed opinions. I mean, if you're just starting out to learn Korean, it's definitely challenging. It's challenging to learn through K-dramas because the language level is obviously very, very high. But if you love watching K-dramas and that's how you want to learn, just try it. And yes, 만나다 means to meet someone. And in the past tense, it is 만났어요. 만났어요. That is to meet in the past tense, which is met. Met. And we're going to meet my 친구. This is my 친구 right here, which means friend. My friend, met. So, question, which particle do I need to use here? Keep in mind, right, that 만나다, to meet, is an action, right? It's an action that you do. So here we need to use 를. Yes, Hannah. Here we need to use 를, right? Because to meet is an action. It's not a description anymore. It's an action that you do, and actions use objects. Objects is the 친구. Okay. So 친구를 만났어요. What does this mean? It means I met a friend. Or I met my friend. Either one of those, depending on context. Okay. All right, we've got 3 more to do. Next, we have 타다. Does anyone know what this verb 타다 means in Korean? 타다. To ride, yes. It means to ride. It means to ride. It can be translated to drive as well. You know, if you're saying like 차를 탔어요, it can also mean to drive. But more literally, the translation is to ride. Okay. And what is this? This thing in Korean. This picture, what is it of? There are a couple different ways you can call this thing. I'll accept any of them if you know what this is. 차. 차, yes. 차 is one. Cha is also the word for tea as well, that you drink. So if you want, you can add 정차 after it, but 차 by itself is totally fine. 차 or 자동차. All right. So what is used? 차 here. 차를 탔어요. 차를 탔어요. Again, 타다 is an action verb, right? It's a thing that you do. So we use lil. All right. I rode a car. Yes, not hanami. Perfect. I rode in maybe a car. I rode a car or I rode in a car. Beautiful. Okay. Let's do another. We've got two more. H. 읽다. Does anyone know what this verb 읽다 means in Korean? To read. Yes. Beautiful. To read. Okay, and in the past tense, this becomes 읽었어요. A lot of people, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, right? Because there's this double sort of consonant on the bottom. There's a very easy way to know though. What happens is that you pronounce this first one and the second one carries over to the next vowel. So it's 읽었어요. 읽었어요 is how you pronounce it. Yes. So literally it's like I saw someone write it as well. It's pronounced like this. All right. And again, this is what they're reading is a check or a book. And 읽었어요 is an action, right? It's a thing that you do. It's an action verb. So we use 을. And so you need to see how this one is lil, but this one is 을. And that's because 차 ends on a vowel sound, but check ends on a consonant sound. So vowel sounds use 를 and consonant sounds use 을, but it's the same syllable, it's the same meaning, it's just two different forms. And lucky last, we have TB. So this is a couple different ways to say TV in Korean. I think technically it's usually written in the full word of television, but you can just say TV as well. But this verb 보다, yes, stand, Twitter, beautiful, means to watch or see or look at, anything like that. To watch, see, look at, anything like that. And in the past tense, it becomes 봤어요. 봤어요. And we've got a TV or a television, TV를 봤어요. TV, to watch, look at, is an action verb. It's something that you do. So we use the object particle. Okay, amazing, good job. So that was making some simple sentences using the past tense. Let's look at some multiple choice questions to do a quick review. So, A, when conjugating into the past tense, if a verb ends in either a or o, you attach a, let me zoom in a little bit maybe. 1, 왔어요, 2, 왔어요, or 3, 했어요. So have a think about this. So if it ends in a or o, what do you add? What do you add? The answer is 1, yes. You add 왔어요. 왔어요. If it's a or o, you add 왔어요. 2, B. When conjugating into the past tense, if a verb ends in ha, then the verb ending becomes 했어요, 헛어요, 했어요, or 했어요 spelled the other way. Is o in present? Number 3, yes, beautiful. It always becomes 했어요, like spelled like this. There's a lot of verbs in Korean that end in ha, so this is a useful one to know. 하다 becomes 했어요. C. If the verb ends in anything else, so it's not a, or ha, what do you add? 1, as어요, 2, 어서요, or 3, 했어요? Which one do you add in this situation? 2, yes. In any other situation, you add 어서요. Also in other situations. Okay. D. Is this topic? Kind of. It's related to topic. It's the Korean language, Korean grammar. Which of the following is the correct conjugation of the verb 싫다 into the past tense? Actually, does anyone know what this verb means? 싫다. 싫다. To hate, to not like. Beautiful. Hate, dislike, not like. You might have heard people say 싫어. 싫어, right? I don't want to do that. I don't like it. I hate it. 싫어. That is this verb. So in the past tense, what is the correct conjugation? Is it 1, 싫었어요, 2, 싫었어요, or 3, 싫했어요? What is the correct conjugation? Yes, Skyzona, your lovely sunshine. Saf, yes, it is number 2, 싫었어요. That is the correct conjugation. E. Which of the following is the correct conjugation of the verb order? What does this verb mean in Korean? Order. It's the opposite of 가다. Order. What does it mean? Saf, yes, thank you. To come. To come, opposite of go. And is the past tense conjugation 1 or 왔어요, 2 or 어서요, or 3 왔어요? Which one is it? 왔어요, 어서요, or 왔어요? The correct answer is 3. Be careful here, because so we did learn, right, that if the ending is a or you attach 왔어요, right? But when you have or plus a, it becomes 와. So order plus 왔어요 becomes 왔어요. So it's 왔어요. All right, good job, excellent work. F. When talking about a noun in the past tense, so all of these before we've been talking about verbs. When you're talking about a noun in the past tense, what do you attach? Do you do 이었어요 if it ends on a vowel and 였어요 if it ends on a consonant? Or do you do 였어요 if it ends on a vowel and 이었어요 if it ends on a consonant? What book is this? Looks interesting. This is the book right here, the Level 1 workbook. And it's associated with our grammar book as textbook as well. So, what do you attach? In the case of nouns, this is what we practice. We didn't practice it in this live stream, but you learn about it in the textbook. You do this one. So if the noun ends on a vowel, so for example, 사과. 사과 is an apple. And if you want to say it was an apple, you would say 사과였어요. 사과였어요 means it was an apple. Whereas a vowel, sorry, a word like check ends on a consonant, so it would be 이었어요. That means it was a book. What days do you go live? I go live on Fridays from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, and the last question here is, which of the following situations could potentially continue to the present? 1. 친구를 만났어요, or 2. 친구를 만났었어요. So this is covered in the textbook, and it's kind of an interesting feature of Korean that's a little bit different from English. So which of these situations could potentially continue to the present? The answer here, yes, is 1. So in Korean, if you say this past tense, right, this was what we've been practicing this entire chapter, this past tense, in Korean, it contains no information about the present situation. So in English, if you say, I met my friend, in English, right, it kind of implies that you met your friend in the past and you're not meeting them right now. That action is over, it's finished. But Korean is not like that. In Korean, you can use this past tense and that situation could still be going on. If you say 친구를 만났어요, you could still be hanging out with your friend right now. All it means is that at some point in the past, you met them and you might still be meeting them right now. You might still be hanging out with your friend. This is the book right here, the Level 1 workbook. But if you want to say specifically that an action is completed and it no longer carries on, you can add this double past tense, 만났었어요, and that tells the listener that this action is finished and I'm not meeting them anymore. So both of these sentences are grammatically correct. It just depends on the situation and what you want the listener to know. This regular past tense is the most common. It's most common just to use this. This is only if specifically you want the person to know that that action is finished. It's no longer carrying on. But it's different from English, right? Because if you say in English, I met my friend, or that person was my friend, that all kind of implies that it's no longer the case right now, but that's not how it works in Korean. In Korean, using this past tense implies no information about the present situation. Little tip. Something that's different from English. Okay, so let's do some translation practice. We've got some exercises here that we're going to try to translate from Korean into English. And the first one says, 저는 어제 커피를 마셨어요. 저는 어제 커피를 마셨어요. So what does this mean? Let's break it down. If I wanted to say that I'm meeting a friend now, would I say 친구를 만나요? Yes, correct. If you want to say that you're meeting a friend now, you could say 친구를 만나요, or 지금, now, 친구를 만나요, or 친구를 만나고 있어요. 만나고 있어요 is the present progressive tense, like am meeting. Either any of those situations, you can say they're all correct. 친구를 만나요, 저는 지금 친구를 만나요, 친구를 만나고 있어요 are all correct. Okay, so let's look at this. 저는 means I. 저는 means I. 어제. What does 어제 mean? 어제 means yesterday. I yesterday coffee drank. I yesterday coffee drank. Or I drank, let me just put this in a good sentence order in English. I drank coffee yesterday. I drank coffee yesterday. Next, 톰은 어제 운동했어요. 톰은 어제 운동했어요. So Tom is someone's name, right? That's the name Tom. And 운동하다 means to exercise or work out. And it's in the past tense. So Tom yesterday exercised. Or Tom worked out yesterday. 톰은 어제 운동했어요. Tom worked out yesterday. Or exercised yesterday. C. 저는 어제 친구를 만났어요. So we just saw, oh, thank you for the heart. I appreciate you. We just practiced 만났어요. 친구를 만났어요 means to meet a friend, right? 저는 is I. 어제 is yesterday. So I yesterday friend met. I yesterday friend met. Or I met my friend yesterday. Or I met a friend yesterday. Both are fine translations. Or yesterday I met my friend. Yes, Cookie, yep. Yesterday I met my friend. Yesterday I met a friend. I met a friend yesterday. Any of those translations are good. D. 사라는 어제 피자를 만들었어요. This verb I don't think we've seen yet. 만들었어요 means made. Made. So, thank you for the rose. So, Sarah, 어제, yesterday, pizza, made. Sarah, yesterday, pizza made. Or Sarah made a pizza yesterday. All right. Beautiful. How to get the book. This is the book right here. It is on TikTok Shop. There is also it on our website and on Amazon. You can find the links to those in our profile. All right. So we've translated from Korean into English. Now let's do some sentences from English into Korean. The first one is, yesterday I read a book. Yesterday I read a book. Now, when it comes to the Korean sentence, you can start with either 저는 or 어제. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to start with 저는, just kind of arbitrarily, but you can also start with 어제 if you want. So 저는, yesterday, 어제, read a book. So remember in Korean, the verb always goes at the end. So we're going to be saying, I yesterday book read, right? And book in Korean is 책. 책. And it uses, and reading a book is an action, right? It's an action that you do. So the object particle. 책을 읽었어요. 읽었어요 is read. So yesterday I read a book. 저는 어제 책을 읽었어요. Yesterday I read a book. Or I read a book yesterday. B. Yesterday I studied Korean. Okay, so again we have 저는 어제. I yesterday. We're going to have Korean studied. I yesterday Korean studied. So 한국어를 배웠어요. 배웠어요 is also good. 배우다 is like to learn something, but it does overlap quite a lot with to study. Like they're very similar words, right? So you could definitely say that. 저는 어제 한국어를 배웠어요. In this case, I'm going to use the verb 공부하다. And so first we start with our noun, 한국어. 한국어 is the word for the Korean language in Korean. So 저는 어제 한국어, and studying Korean is an action, right? It's an action that you do. So we're using the object particle. And 공부하다 is to study. And in past tense, it becomes 했어요. 저는 어제 한국어를 공부했어요. Yesterday, I studied Korean. Okay. C. Yesterday, I made bread. All right. Here we go again. 저는 어제 bread. What is bread in Korean? Bread in Korean is 빵. 빵 is bread. And making bread is an action that you do. So we use the object particle. 빵을 만들다 is the verb to make. And in the past tense, it becomes 만들었어요. 만들었어요. 저는 어제 빵을 만들었어요. Yesterday, I made bread. All right. D. Yesterday, I ate salad. Yesterday, I ate salad. 저는 어제 salad. Salad in Korean is an English word. I'm just going to write it out. 샐러드. And eating a salad is an action that you do. So we use the object particle, 샐러드를, and ate. What is ate in Korean? Well, the present tense is 먹다 or 먹어요. So that means that the past tense is 먹었어요. 먹었어요. 저는 어제 샐러드를 먹었어요. Yesterday, I ate salad. All right. E. Yesterday, Tom studied English. So now we have a different subject, right? Up until now, we've always been using I, 저는, 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 저는. But now we have Tom. So we're going to start with Tom, Tom은. As for Tom, yesterday, 어제, he studied English. Now, English in Korean is 영어. This is the word for English, and studying English is an action that you do, so we use the object particle. Tom은 어제 영어를 studied. We had studied up here, right? It's the same verb, so we can just borrow this as well. 공부했어요. 공부했어요. Or 어제 톰은 영어를 공부했어요. Yes, you can also start with 어제 if you like. That's totally fine. You can do either one. 톰은 어제 or 어제 톰. Both are fine. 톰은 어제 영어를 공부했어요. Or 어제 톰은 영어를 공부했어요. Yesterday, Tom studied English. All right, and lucky last, F. Yesterday, Mary read a book. Yesterday, Mary read a book. We have a new name, Mary, which is like this. So, Mary는. Mary는 어제, yesterday. We're using 어제 a lot. If there's one word to remember from this live stream, hopefully you remember 어제. We've used it so many times. 메리는 어제 read a book. Okay, so again, as always, remember that in Korean the verb goes last. So we start with the noun book, which in Korean is 책. And reading a book is an action that you do. So we use the object particle. 어제 책을. 읽다 is the verb to read. And in past tense, it's 읽었어요. 메리는 어제 책을 읽었어요. I will dream about 어제 today. Yes. Please do. In your dreams, just think 어제, 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 and you'll always remember this one vocabulary word. Yesterday is 어제. I mean, there's a big part of language learning is just repetition, right? If you're memorizing words, a big part of it is just this repetition. So it does help. 메리는 어제 책을 읽었어요. Yesterday, Mary read a book. Okay, amazing. So this brings us, I think, to the end of the past tense chapter. There is also a dictation exercise, which I won't do in this live stream right now. Am I fluent in Korean? I can definitely get by. I'm always learning more, but I can definitely make my way in Korean. Thank you, Alex. So this is a dictation exercise. I highly recommend you do it if you get the book. All of these tracks are, you can listen to, and it's just you listen to the track and then try and write down what you hear. It's really important to practice your listening skills, not just your reading and writing skills. So I recommend you do this as well. Thank you, everybody. There is also a free writing challenge. So this is basically, we just give you some space to practice. We give you a picture, some vocabulary words. There is no answers to this section, but there are some provided sentences that we give. I'll just go and show you how it looks in the back. There are answers to all of these activities in the back of the book. So if you look at the back of the book, this free writing section does have some examples that we give. There are no right and wrong answers though, it's just space for you to practice. So yeah, definitely try the dictation, try making your own sentences using this free writing section. And then next time we'll be doing the future tense. Where can I buy? You can buy it in this live stream in our TikTok shop. You can also get it on Amazon and through our website. Book's name, please. This book is the Level 1 workbook. This is the cover. Have you made changes to the book? Not to this one, no. This, I think, is the same as it's always been. We are publishing more books, though. We do have a Level 2 book. If this is too easy for you, we do have a Level 2, which is a little bit more complicated. And we also, next month, have a Level 3 coming out. This one, we're still finalizing it. We're still doing the final proofreading and publishing of this. Should be coming out next month. And then we'll have a level 3 as well. But this one that we've been doing in this live stream is level 1. And then we also have a level 4 in the works as well, but that probably won't be coming out until later in the year. It is drafted, but we still have a lot of work on that one as well. Do you ship to Europe? I'm from Germany. This book is available through Amazon, I believe. If you go to the amazon.de, so the German Amazon website, I think you can order it from there. That'll be cheaper than doing international shipping, I believe. So try that first. Go to the your Amazon store in Germany, amazon.de, and try and ordering it from there. Yeah. All right, so that was this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We talked about making sentences in the past tense. And next time, which will be 5 p.m. at next Friday, we will keep going with the future tense. So come back more if you'd like to practice some more. And as always, I will post this live stream on YouTube so that you can watch it later or watch previous live streams as well. And I thank you guys all so much for being here. Thank you for joining my live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful Friday, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you all very much. Bye. Thank you. When do I go live? 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Have a good weekend. Tau me bio. See you next time.